Hello, Education 380 and Education 500. I hope all is going well this week. Also, not too bad of a week, I don't think, but a few things. One, thanks everyone for the patience. I'm plugging through the grades. I should be caught up on all grading, I would say, by at the latest midweek, hopefully early week. I'm talking Monday, Tuesday, in terms of all the way through week 6. Um, but just in case, I'll send out an email if I'm not. I should be, though. um, you'll probably get a lot of stuff coming in through the next couple days. Also, congratulations to making it on midterm week. Hope everyone's surviving, but still getting out to enjoy. I'm pointing out my office window, enjoying the nice weather. With all that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in and talk about what we're doing this week. I think this week's is a pretty easy. It's a pretty easy week. But I also think it's pretty useful. This is something you're seeing more and more. And actually, some of you already probably know how to do this technology, but I've seen it used more and more in the classrooms. I've even seen it more and more around our just community hall and Shepherd University as a whole, and it's making QR codes. Most people probably know how to do this, but I'm going to show you using some of your Shepherd technology, and is also just getting you used and seeing what might be available to you in your schools or even here at Shepherd. So this week, main things, there's no discussion this week. We did a discussion last week. We're just going to do a blog this week on QR codes and whether you think you would actually use a QR code or any of the Microsoft stuff that I'm going to show you. I'm not going to do a deep dive on the Microsoft stuff because there's plenty up on the Shepherd website that if you're really interested, and I'll put a link up for that. I don't think I have it, but I'll still do a kind of a quick intro for it. But with that being said, what are you going to have to do this week? Your main goal this week is, QR codes are everywhere. And of course, if you don't know what a QR code is, it's that little, I guess it's like a little black and white box that you can put your phone up to and it scans and takes you somewhere to surveys and things like that. We're going to keep this pretty straightforward this week, though. We're going to be able to use your actual Shepherd account to create one. You're going to do one in Forms. You're going to use either the questions or quiz model, and you're going to create 5 questions. Hopefully I'm not putting the cart before the horse, but I'll come back and kind of redo this with you just to kind of go over. But just to kind of keep in mind, you're basically going to use forms and you're going to make QR codes. So with that being said, here's what I want you to do this week. And we'll kind of talk about the pros and cons of all this as I'm going through. All right. I usually just go to my Shepherd site, homepage, click my email, and I'm already logged in, but as you can see, there's a lot of stuff on here. But this column, oh, let me look at this. I'll do a little plug while I'm there. KDP is actually doing a bonfire. Ah, there you go. I'm going to have to sign in. See if that makes me do it again. There it is. I was going to say, I didn't think I was signed in. Sorry, low production values, I know. Whoops. It's even worse when you don't put the right password in. I'll show you the KDP thing because I know it has a QR code on it. Slow. Very slow. There we go. That is a QR code if you've never seen one, which I know everyone in here has. But with that being said, let me get out of there. If you look on this right-hand side here, or left-hand side, you can see, let me put my face back on there. If you look on this side here, there's a lot of things that you have access to, and they're your Microsoft aspects and your tools. A lot of schools actually still use Microsoft as your email. And if you don't, it's very similar still to the Google type setup. But as you can see here, you have access to Word documents. I've actually really gotten better about using these because they're there. You can, it's just like Word or those HyperDocs where you can work on them at the same time and things like that. As you can see, Dr. Johnson and I were working on something right there. And these Word documents are saved within what's called your OneDrive. And this is my OneDrive. It should just be folders, so I don't mind pulling it up. Should be. Yep, there you go. Just different things that I have to organize. Try that again. I'm in Safari, which was dumb. I should have been in Chrome. I think some of us were talking about how Flipgrid was a little goofy sometimes with Safari. Anyway, as you can look here, when you go to OneDrive, everything you can create, I organize mine and I have all types of information and things like, my advisees. I've helped with History Bowls sometimes, which is a local competition. I have stuff, my social studies program. And of course, all the Word documents, they all go on my OneDrive. So when you go there, it's there. And as you can see, you have that, you have Excel. I'm not going to pretend to be the best Excel person in the world, but if you are familiar with Excel, and I do use Excel, but it's very base level stuff. PowerPoint, I'm not going to get into PowerPoint with this class because I think everyone probably knows how to use PowerPoint and Google Slides. But if you do have questions about it, feel free to contact. Sway is another thing that's on here. I am going to hit the Sway button just in case you're interested in it. I have fiddled around with Sway sometimes, but I think it's kind of if you wanted, here's the comparison that I always think of, and it's probably not the best. It's almost like the difference between like Instagram and Facebook, where you can get a little more detailed with Facebook. That's kind of the PowerPoint, where Sway is a little more image based. And it's almost like a scrapbook. Like this was, I went to London a few years ago, and this was an old example I did, and I just put little things, boom, boom, and these were pictures that I had taken. There was no zebra in London. I was just kind of showing the examples, but it's just, you can put them up there, and as you can see, it's just side by side. It's nothing fancy. I don't see it used very much, but I don't know if it's one of those hills that Microsoft is prepared to die on, so to speak. Also, you have access to Teams in here. I know some schools, districts are still using Teams, so it might be something that you might want to fiddle around with. And basically, I'm just showing you all this, so if you ever want to go in here, you do have access to this stuff, and I think it's important that you know. I'll put some links up, but this Shepherd has tons of trainings. I think everyone knows how to use Word and PowerPoint, which should be the two most common things that you may actually use in the field. But if you put them here, they're basically on a cloud on your OneDrive. And of course, there's your email, your Outlook. With all that being said, what we're going to use is something called forms, which, there's different types of forms, but these are all different ones I can do. And these are nice because you can do surveys, you can do class polls. I'm going to show you QR codes, but with QR codes, basically, you can do, I've seen a lot of teachers use QR codes for bell ringers where they just put the QR code up on the projector. I'm pointing up like at the projector and up on the screen, and the students just hold their device if they have iPads, if it's an iPad school. I've seen high schools where they've actually allowed them to use their phones and scan the QR code and take the survey. That's up to you. It's even something you can maybe just send out. Sometimes, usually when I use them, I still send the link out just in case. But what you need to do this week is you need to go in here. You need to hit new quiz, and you can actually do new form or new quiz. I don't care which one you do. We're just going to hit new quiz. And you need to make 5 questions. It can be a survey. It can be, just anything. I'm not going to be too picky about it, is basically what I'm trying to mumble out here. But watch, for example, you're going to hit that, and you're going to title it. Let's say, this is totally off the top of my head, but let's just say favorite things. And you're going to go add 1. And you see there's your choices. You can do a multiple choice. You can do a text. You can do a thumbs up, thumbs down. And you can do all of that. Let's just do text. And you can say, what is your favorite movie? And some spelling problem. What is your favorite movie? And you can do that. And you can add stuff if you want. Next one, I'm just going to do another one. I just had to add new question. What is your favorite sports team? I'm usually always Washington area teams, for better or for worse. It was good a couple years ago with the Nats and the Caps. kind of little spotty. The football team, I kind of long suffering, but I did see them win 3 Super Bowls growing up, so I shouldn't complain too much. I think you get the point, but you'll add like a bunch. Let's do one more favorite thing. What is your favorite song? And you can do whatever you want. If you want to do a class survey, I would probably recommend doing something you think you might do out in the field, or a survey or something along those lines. And then we'll go from there. And by the way, you can check your responses. They're all right there. Now, once you've done your questions and you've added them, you can share it. Now you can change, I'm not asking you to do this, but you can change the themes of them and things like that. Like you like blue, you like a skateboarder, all that. Once you do that, all you have to do, by the way, it does, as you can see, it auto saves. Boom. You're going to hit this. Now there's a couple things that you can do, and this is the key for you all. You have to give a 5-question quiz or survey, and you have to submit it to me. I want the QR code. Now there's the link. That's nice. But if you look here, if you scan right there, it says QR code. You hit that, you can download the QR code and you should be able to submit it. Again, if it gives you problems on Brightspace, I know we're still filling out the Brightspace issues. You can just put it on a Word, like a document, and just submit the document. If you really have to, you can email me the QR code, but you just download it. Boom, now I've just done it. That's my survey. So if I scan that with my phone, which is what I do with every one of your all surveys, it'll take me to the survey. Don't worry, I probably won't take the survey. I usually just see what the questions are and such, and just if the QR code works. Don't worry if the QR code doesn't work. I'll probably just send you an email and ask you to resend it. No big deal. But the benefits of these, I actually did start to use these a lot. Like I say, most of the time, the way I have seen them are one of 2 ways. One, sometimes teachers use them just to incorporate phones and iPads, and they put them up on these screens so students can scan them and do them in class. Also, I've seen a lot of people put them on flyers or in emails and just have people so you can scan it. So it's one of those things. So for example, if you're coordinating something just like that bonfire and you want to just put the QR code up on the flyer and you can hang it in your hallway. So it's a pretty simple technology, but I think it's actually pretty neat and useful. And it definitely shows that you can use a little technology. Plus, at the end of the day, you can use forms. I know forms has become a very popular thing, whether it's on the Microsoft version or the Google version, which you can also do this with the Google version, I believe. I'm just going to use it because everyone I know has access to OneDrive. And don't forget, use these clouds and OneDrives. Like I say, I fought that for a long time. I remember I was at a school where we got the OneDrive and the Microsoft, notes, so to speak, and everyone fought it. And by the way, I was kind of stubborn about it too, because we were like, well, I like being able to do the flash drive and all, but it is so nice. This is all stuff that I have here at home that I did at work without having to plug in, save, and such. And it's just all right there. And I've actually gotten to the point where I do all my advising paperwork on OneDrive. It's saved there, and it's a little less paper. It's a good tool. So that's a little bit of a campaign for OneDrive, but you can also, of course, you're going to use Forms this week. And Forms, I see a lot of people do online quizzes, online surveys. It's becoming more and more prevalent. My son's school, his social studies teacher, he does everything on Forms. He does their essay questions and such, which, at the end of the day, it does alleviate that issue of maybe losing paper. I can't speak for everyone else, but one thing, I was pretty organized, believe it or not, when I was teaching, I thought, but there would still be those moments like, did that student give me that paper? Did he not give me that paper? I'm pretty sure he didn't, but he swears that he did, and you'll doubt yourself. Using Forms, Google Classroom, any learning management system honestly eliminates that. So with all that being said, I'm going to stop the share. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. But again, let me just the QR code and the blog, just review the QR codes and if you would use them. If you don't foresee yourself using them, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. So with all that being said, get out and enjoy the weather, and I hope everyone has survived up to midterm. So talk to you later. Bye.